How about right now we talk about Omar Cooper?
Okay,
How about that?
let's do it.
So
Sure.
Omar Cooper, receiver from Indiana. We talked about the Indiana receivers a few weeks ago. Omar Cooper and Elijah Surratt. Of course, we got to see a lot of them because Indiana played a lot of games and they scored a lot of points. And they have Fernando Mendoza, the number 1 pick at quarterback. So these were his receiving options. Omar Cooper, though, I felt like you and I were kind of in lockstep how we viewed him. And we both liked him, kind of the range that we thought he was. But having said that, been a lot of hype built up around him the last few weeks. It felt like literally the day after we talked about him, it felt like the hype got built up. But let's just talk about him right now. Cooper, very fun player, but what do you think about him, Matt? What do you think about him now? What do you think about the hype being built around him?
Big time storyline this week. People, it seems like, are racing to be the Omar Cooper guy. You know what I'm saying? Like that was what was interesting about when I first charted him. Was just ever since then, like I did my first 2 games, I was like, okay, like I think I got a pretty good sense of what he is, and then I just kind of saw more people, and like, by the way, not exclusively, but a lot of people that I really respect.
Yes.
Both like evaluators and like sources that I talk to are just like one after the other, like, no, I'm here. Oh, no, actually, I'm here.
Yes.
Oh, no, I'm here. No, I'm here. Like, just like building up like where this guy is. And I want to be clear. Like, and I wrote this up in the article today. I think he's a quality player. And I have my theories on why I think so many people like him, but just like my evaluation of him, like as I said to you, I came away from watching these Indiana receivers. One, Surratt's like like Pat Bryant, you better be power slot or else like that it ain't going to happen on the outside. That's a whole nother conversation. With Cooper, both these guys I did feel like, man, I really came away appreciating Fernando Mendoza's game, who, no shocks, would be the first pick in the draft. Like, yeah, he's good, guys. But for Cooper, he's most in the games I've charted from 2025, almost exclusively a slot player. It's like zone coverage recognition, pretty good. The man coverage stuff is where I get the most like hung up on. He's particularly, I don't think, great working the intermediate middle of the field, which is a little problematic if that's going to.
A ton of outbreakers.
Pretty good on him. So I kind of think there's this like receiver archetype of, if we want to talk about the peak of it, it's like Malik Nabers. Then I think it's like, then you're in your DJ Moores, or then you're probably like Brandon Ayuk, and then you're DJ Moore, and then like Luther Burden, and I think Omar Cooper is like somewhere in this bucket.
It's like all the guys I struggle with.
I know, and like,
and I like Cooper a little. Yeah,
Nabers is like an elite receiver prospect because he was I can do stuff with the ball in my hands, really explosive, just hyper efficient with the ball in my hands and explosive player, but he also was like a real receiver.
Yeah.
You could see that. That's why for me he was an elite prospect, tier 1 guy. You could take top 10 in any NFL draft.
That's how I am graded too.
And he's like, again, the peak of that. Ayuk like became that guy in the league, but he wasn't that guy to start. And then Burden last year, same sort of thing where you clearly saw he needed the seasoning.
Yeah.
His zone cover stuff was pretty mid, but like as a man coverage beater, when you saw him, which you didn't see a ton of, but when you saw it, like, man, he does have the explosibility on those like outbreakers to the field, really snap off and explode. I think you see that with Cooper, and for what it's worth, for what I've heard about Cooper, and we're hoping to have him actually on the fantasy show tomorrow, so that would be pretty confirmed. Look at that there.
Colin, a little tease there.
Yeah,
look at that.
Fingers crossed. You never know. Like Nick Sirianni said, we know we were going to be tomorrow. But yeah, so hopefully figure this out more. But he gets great character reports, hard worker. Whereas like Burden, that was a question.
Yes,
right.
Big question.
I think that's just like an interesting comparison to make. But yeah, I like him a lot. I think he obviously brings appeal as an explosive player with the ball in his hands. I do just wonder about that full growth as a route runner in year 1 and year 2. Is he somebody that really blossoms in year 3, year 4 in that way? And do you take that guy 19th overall or top 20 in the draft, or do you take that more like second round, top of second round? To me, that's kind of what I'm thinking.
And that's where I've kind of gravitated to, or how I viewed him. I thought I was pretty safe in viewing him. I was like, I really like him, and I was like, okay, probably just in my top 50, somewhere around there. And I've just seen like that, like top 20. And this skill set is one I can get so high with, and a guy that's going to really, to me, a lot of slot stuff, which is not the end all be all. Guys get used that way, but then how I project to him to the outside. How he moves, and this is some trade stuff I'm just looking at. I don't know. I see limitations just as a mover.
He gets stuck. Like
yes,
at the
he
top,
does.
Where routes are breaking, like he does get – because it's funny because, like I said, he's very physical and a really tough player, both as a blocker and with the ball in his hands. But he does, like, get stuck on contact.
It's a little rigidness.
At times. Yeah. It's not the most – like, that's the thing with Burden where it's like, okay, he's a little more fluid. So these guys aren't, like, perfect comparisons.
Burden is – like freaky athlete.
Yeah.
And
that's why I'm excited to see Cooper this weekend. Like, I hope he goes out there and rips it up. And then, by the way, then the hype is only going to go.
Oh, I know. And there's a reason Signetti brought him from James Madison too. Like they're and like he just kind of encapsulated what they were all about. Like, he was a smart player. He made plays. I really want to say it was the Oregon game, Oregon or Penn State. He makes like a one-handed catch when he's going out there.
Oh, the Penn State one at the end of the game. We're like,
well,
I don't
that
even
one
know
too.
how,
that one too. Yeah, and he has one towards the sideline. I want to say against Oregon, where it should have just been like a 1 yard flat route because they run so many RPOs.
Yeah.
And he adjusts for it and creates a big play off it. And that's the thing. Again, I really like him. I only can get usually so high. Shoot, he might just tear it up this week, and I'm like, wow, okay, I got to re-gauge some things.
Yeah.
But I feel like we're kind of the same, kind of like a good day 2 prospect that we really like, a round 2 prospect, I should say.
Yeah.
But yeah,
I would say early round 2. Like, which
that's
I
fair.
mean, we're splitting hairs. Ultimately, if you have a real vision for a player, like, and you want to take him in the back of the first round, I guess I would just say I think that the reason the hype is really built on a player like this is because those yards after catch plays are easy to see.
Yes, they are.
They
show up in highlights.
They show up in highlights. Like, again, when you're seeing it on Twitter, it's very easy as opposed to just like, okay, that was a pretty boring, like, boring 10-yard dig route.
Yep.
But, like, that's where you can get even more of those explosive plays if you have those in your bag. And I don't think he quite has those in the bag yet, but maybe that's something that, like I said, can develop in time. But, and I do get it from a guy that, like I said, blocks well, high character,
productive,
a lot of effort, productive.
big moments.
And it is a league right now that's hunting those explosive plays via yards after catch, and those opportunities. So I get where he fits in there and within that, like, receiver archetype. But, yeah, it's just been very interesting to see the process unfold. I also think, too, another thing to mention, like, he was a very, very late declare, not in like his career, but he declared he was going to the draft pretty late. So some people could just be kind of, like myself, I said in the article, like, I need to do more work on this player, like, because we weren't sure if he was going to be in the draft.
I know. I'm kind of glad. And I've talked to some teams, and they view him kind of similar to us, or some teams, just a few guys, few scouts, and they kind of viewed him kind of similar to us. So I kind of made me feel a little bit better on that. But no, it's a good player.
He's a good player. I don't think he sucks secretly or
no. We're just gauging him. We're just trying to, like,
he's also one of those guys, and this is the case with all receivers, that once I know where he's going to play in the team that he's going to play on, might be like same with Luther Burden.
Yeah,
I remember we talked about this. As soon as he was drafted by the Bears, like, okay, all that stuff that I'm worried about with him, like being in the right place at the right time, like he's not going to be great against zone coverage if he doesn't iron these details out. Well, guess who's going to make him iron those details out? And I don't think it's quite the same thing with Cooper, but yeah, it's where he lands is really important.
I totally agree.